So I went ahead and I got a case from Etsy probably a few weeks ago. I got it because the case that I had currently, it was a little beat up. It didn't look very nice by the time I was done with it. So I went shopping for more cases, and I was looking at Amazon and Walmart.com, and I just hated all these standard looking cases. Like, as I was scrolling through, they all kind of looked the same and they weren't very interesting. And like each new case I saw, it was like, I feel like I've already seen something like this. So if you like that kind of stuff, great. Not throwing shots at you here, but me personally, I have my phone in my hands all day. I work in an office and I look at my phone a million times a day. And so I wanted to have a phone case that every time I look at it, I felt like anything, like just something besides like, oh, like this is just a basic phone case. So I went on Etsy and I searched iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I typed Star Wars at the end of that and looked through their options, and this was one of the first ones that I saw, and I bought it without reading much of the reviews. I waited for the 20 days to come to my doorstep from China, and I just popped this bad boy on. And I guess I'm making this video in the first place because while I was looking at cases and looking at like YouTube reviews of cases, I noticed that no one ever reviewed Etsy cases or cases from Etsy, which I feel like a video value would be so much for cases that mainly only have like written reviews. And I felt like there'd be a few benefits to this. Like, it'd be really cool to just give the original seller, the original artist, some exposure, and it gives some spotlight to the more creative phone cases out there. So I just wanted to make this video just to talk about this case. Ultimately I thought it would look really awesome on camera, so I didn't think I could resist actually making a video on it. So I could talk about this all day. I don't want to hold you up, so I just want to immediately just start talking about the case because you already know the backstory. And I guess the first thing I wanted to talk about was just the protection viability, I guess, of having a phone case like this, because obviously, protection is the most important part of phone cases, and so I just wanted to talk about that first and foremost. My use with this, and I'm factoring this in when I talk about protection, I'm always using a glass screen protector. Like, if you're not using a glass screen protector, you're literally begging to have your phone screen smashed. So I hope you have like some kind of insurance for that, because it's going to happen without one. So everything I say here considers having a glass screen protector. It's a pretty thin case, which I personally like, and I just came from a much thicker, like OtterBox style case before this. And just getting this out of the way, the only surface that I probably wouldn't feel comfortable dropping this on is concrete. Other than that, dropping this on anything else at around hip height, or maybe a little bit higher than that, you'll probably be fine. If you felt this case in person, I think it would make more sense why I feel this way, but to best explain it, this phone case is so thin that I can feel the integrity of the phone through the case. When I squeeze this case, I can feel the structure of my iPhone 12 Pro underneath. I can feel that there's hard, solid metal underneath there, versus a much thicker case like the one I had before, where if I put this on and I'm squeezing it, I'm feeling 100% a mushy, rubbery case and not the actual phone itself. So I'm not sure if this makes sense, but basically, if I were you, I'd draw the line at concrete drops in this case. If not, when you drop this phone on concrete, you're probably gonna have a pretty stressful like 5 to 10 seconds. Like that time period where you drop your phone on the ground and you're like, oh my God, like, is it cracked? Is it cracked? Is it cracked? On concrete, I'm not 100% sure if you're gonna have the best of luck. And I just wanted to be really clear about that. And I guess just to give you some more context, this is basically a simple rubber TPU case. The rubber is a matte finish, which I like again. And then I think this wood piece is most likely, or probably, glued on the back. I think that this case itself is just like a kind of mass-produced, like the rubber piece is just like a mass-produced, like, fit in whatever material in the back you want and resell it. And I have to say that with that in mind, this wood panel definitely feels like part of the case. Like, I don't feel like I could just pry it off with my fingers, or I don't think under any normal use this would pry off. I'm sure if you took a knife and pried it open, you'd probably get it out, of course. But under any normal use, I can never project this, this wood piece coming apart. I don't think that could happen unless, like I've said earlier, if you drop it on concrete, I can 1000% seeing the wood split with the force of the concrete. And then from there, once the wood splits, I'm assuming normal use, that would just pop right out. But if you're buying this case, especially a case this thin, you're probably not thinking about it in terms of, oh, is this giving me the best protection? And to be clear, I'm definitely trading off OtterBox type strength for design and for thinness. And with this, luckily, you have some pretty great design options. It seems like they offer 4 different wood finishes: blackwood, cherry, rosewood, and walnut. And to be honest, I'm not even sure why I choose the redwood option at the time of purchase. I was just looking at my options. I liked it the best. And even though I don't regret my purchase, the next time I might go for the cherry, just because that lighter looking wood, I think that definitely looks a lot better, or at least suits me for what I find visually appealing. Also, in this listing, they have a Darth Vader option as well, which I think that design was just way too messy. There's too much stuff going on. The space is so cramped with visuals here, and I don't think there was a lot of room to appreciate and really take in the design. And I think that's the biggest reason why I went with the Millennium Falcon. And with this, I like it better because they kind of shifted the design to the bottom right. You get to admire the wood itself, but also a full, or a partially full view here of the Falcon model, which is really nice. It's a super detailed etching, and compared to another photo of it top down, it looks really accurate, and I love it. And I'm a little surprised because the Falcon isn't even my first choice when it comes to Star Wars media, but it just looks so good, and I loved this specific design here, especially with the wood case here. And then this is just last minute thoughts. I just wanted to touch on some extra pieces that I really liked about this case specifically, or just things that just kind of interested me. Wireless charging works fine. I haven't had a problem. It works business as usual here. Another thing is the rubber covering between the camera lenses. I actually love that because my old case didn't have that, and I could definitely see bits of dust or dirt or rocks getting caught up in between that. I'm not sure if you saw this either. This might have shown up already in the footage, but this came inside a cloth pouch. The presentation was nice. It came with a cloth pouch, and then inside I also got this wood bracelet. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been buying phone cases for probably 15 years now, and I've never ever gotten a bracelet as an accessory with my case purchase. It's cool, and to be honest, if you have kids, they're probably gonna get more use out of it than you are. I'm not judging you if you wear it. You want to wear it? Hey, enjoy it. You paid for the thing. If you use it, if you paid for it, right? But I guess I can't complain about some extra pizzazz thrown in my phone case. And then 2 more pieces that I just wanted to notate. The buttons, they feel really responsive and firm. On my old case, I could definitely feel the mush between, the rubber mushiness between my finger hitting the power button and the power button reacting to the rubber pushing against it. So I just want to notate here, I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm clicking the buttons directly as if I didn't even have a phone case. And then one last thing, I didn't even notice this until I started wrapping up, is the store that I bought this from. They have way more designs than the listing that I showed you earlier. So if none of these 2 options are your deal and you still like Star Wars, they have a ton of Star Wars options as well, which is really nice. And so just keep that in mind. If none of these are your deal, look for something else. Because if I knew this, the Millennium Falcon's nice, don't get me wrong, but if I knew this, I probably would have picked some of the other options that we see on here. So just keep that in mind. Overall, and one more thing, I'm gonna throw the link to this guy's shop in the description, and then the link to this exact listing in the description as well, just so you guys can take a look. If you're a huge Star Wars fan like me, you probably watch Star Wars Visions, and the Star Wars content's probably making you pretty happy right now, so you kind of probably want to take that happiness with you in some way. So I just wanted to point that out. Overall, it's a pretty simple, great looking case, and I'm just glad I was able to get my hands on something not super boring and had a little bit of creativity. But I'm pretty much rambling here, so I'm getting out of here, homies. Thanks for watching. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day. Y'all take care now.